Yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today is going to be somewhat different from our normal POV drives. A lot of you guys wanted me to do basically a breakdown of how I'm able to afford this car. How was I able to buy a brand new 2025 M340i while I'm still in my 20s? So today I'm going to give you guys a full breakdown of how I did it. I'm basically going to split the video into 3 or 4 different parts. The first part of the video is going to be basically learning a high income skill. The second part would be making your money work for you. And then finally, the third part would be delayed gratification. This is going to be a one-take video. So keep in mind that I'm going to be kind of just rambling here, but I'm going to basically explain to you guys the steps that I took to acquire this car in my 20s, which is like an $80,000 car, responsibly. Okay, so number one, I have like a list with me, so I'm really gonna break this down. Number one, the first thing that you wanna do realistically is learn some sort of high income skill. This doesn't necessarily mean you have to go to college. I personally did go to college. I graduated a few years ago, and I majored in something that I thought was useful for the world, and that was finance. When I say useful, I mean something that no matter the environment, I would be able to get a job. When I originally went into college, I wasn't sure what I was gonna major in. I was really unsure with my career path, but I decided to land in finance with an emphasis in accounting as a skill that I thought it could help me for the rest of my life. So, college. Is college worth it? For certain people, I do believe college is worth it. It's not necessarily a requirement. I know plenty of people that didn't go to college and they've had massive amounts of success. Going to college does not mean you will be successful, and honestly, it's not really needed. I had the opportunity to go to college and graduate debt-free. Very fortunate because of that. I think the major that I chose was useful. But when learning a high income skill, it's not necessarily like, oh, you have to get a degree or anything like that. It could be sales, it could be any sort of consulting, and any sort of like marketing agency, anything like that, where you can basically separate yourself from competition and or be employable and provide a skill to people. People want to pay for something that they don't know how to do, and that's what your job is. Okay, so after learning a high income skill, the second thing that I would do, what I personally did, would be make my money work for me. So right out of college, I immediately got a job, and at the time I was living at home, and I fucking put my head down. I earned as much as I could, and I put away as much money as I possibly could as well. This means every single paycheck I was putting money away, investing into stocks, investing into tech. And to be honest with you guys, this car I purchased completely off of profits that I made from investing in Nvidia, Tesla, stuff like this. I basically spent the first 2 years out of college, living at home, shoveling 90% of my income into investment accounts and buying ETFs, buying tech stocks, making sure that I was constantly lowering my budget. Honestly, for the first 2 years before I got this car, I was constantly investing. I was not going out. I really fucking put my head down and was able to get a giant lump sum of cash that I put towards stocks that later grew into much larger amounts, which has enabled me to be able to buy this car. So you basically want your money to be working for you 24/7. If that's in ETFs, and even if you're 401k at your work, every single dollar that I have, no matter where it is, it's making me money. Even my cash is sitting in a high yield savings account, paying me 4% right now. Just waiting on the sidelines, ready for some sort of purchase, or if I see a buying opportunity. So that was number 2. Number 3 is delayed gratification. So one of the main things that allowed me to purchase this car was being patient. I could have purchased this car 2 years ago, right out of college, but that would have been a very irresponsible choice, honestly. It would have put me in debt that I didn't need to be in. You just have to make sure your purchases align with what you want to achieve in the future. For me, cars are super important to me, but at the same time, I'm not gonna sacrifice or derail my future and all the things that I wanted in my future to go into debt. I could have fucking gone and bought a $150,000 McLaren, but I'm not gonna do that. Why? Because it's not responsible. Why would I spend a large portion of my net worth on something that doesn't make sense? For example, this car, if I wanted to, tomorrow I can go and pay it off. I have the cash available and it's not a problem because I spent years, 2 to 3 years, really planning out what I wanted to do and how I wanted to execute it. And paying that cash out and basically paying off the car wouldn't affect me. I have reserves available because I planned and I delayed getting this car as much as I could to make sure my investments and everything had grown to a stage where buying this didn't really do anything for me. It didn't make a dent, you know what I mean? Okay, let me think. All right, so I'd say another very, very important thing is your mindset. Every single day when you wake up, your goal, whatever your goal is, if it's buying a car, if it's buying a G80, if it's buying a fucking Lamborghini in the future, whatever your goal is, if it's opening a business, your goals need to be present in your life. I mean, the moment that you wake up in the morning, it has to be right in front of your eyes. I'm not saying like literally have to see it, you just have to be constantly thinking about it. It's almost incapacitating. I thought about this car for years before I bought it. Not necessarily the same model or exactly the same spec, but I knew out of college I wanted to own a BMW, and I knew I wanted it to be either dark blue or some sort of gray, and this is what I landed with. And honestly, it's been a great ownership experience so far. So your mindset is definitely one of the biggest things that you need to make sure you are always dialing in. You have to manifest it and you have to work towards your goals every fucking day. And it's not a question. You can't buy something like this or buy whatever goals you have, you can't temporarily work on them. You can't, I'll spend 2-3 weeks, a month. No, you have to constantly work towards them, put efforts towards them, and you have to make sacrifices in the sense of, I don't want to spend money, I have to lower my budget, I have to put some things on hold temporarily so I can in the future succeed of what I'm trying to do. Okay, so I'd say one of the main and final things, I know I'm rambling right now, this is one take and I'm trying to get as much information into it, is I want to loop back to investing. Investing is one of the best vehicles for creating wealth. Right when I graduated college, like I said, I basically shoveled all of my income into tech stocks, and these grew over the years, allowing me to make this purchase without any sort of implications for the future. I'm gonna hop back to the skills portion. Another thing that I forgot to mention is that you definitely want to constantly job hop. If you are working a 9 to 5 or whatever your choice is, you want to constantly job hop. You want to increase your salary, and one of the biggest things that a lot of people do is that you do not want to be stagnant with your skills. Regardless of what position you're working at, take on more work, take on external classes, sign up for a university class that you learn skills that can basically increase your resume, so in the future you can pivot into other positions that are higher pay. Out of college, since I've gotten out of college, I've increased my salary 2 or 3 times from making good pivots into new positions, as well as I have been able to basically double or triple my salary every year off of returns from stocks. You just want to make sure that your money is always working for you. Your 9 to 5 salary is not enough to live. That's why you have to allocate it into things such as ETFs, tech stocks, high yield savings accounts, crypto, anything that you think that you can make a return on, real estate, and allow that to grow as a whole. Okay, I know that was a lot of information, but I'm gonna wrap it up here because we are getting around 10 minutes and I'm honestly getting really fucking tired of talking. I don't talk this much normally, but I want to basically say, you guys can achieve literally anything you want. This is a like $80,000 car, and I was fortunate enough to have been in a position to acquire this in my 20s, and every day I'm very thankful for that. And this is just personally the beginning. I personally have a lot of goals, and that's why I also said before, you don't want to be too reckless with what you're buying, because in the future you always want to, I have other goals. Like in the future I'd love to own an Aventador, and honestly after this car I would definitely consider hopping into an exotic, maybe like a 570S, 600 LT, Urus, something like that. But I want to finish on a note that the biggest thing to take away from this is increase your income, learn new skills, and make sure your money is always working for you. I appreciate every single one of you guys. We are almost at 500 subscribers, and at 1,000, bro, I've already been practicing. We're spinning this car. I'm talking sliding it everywhere. This was more of a serious video, but I honestly wanted to really get it out for you guys. I did actually detail the car, bro, like for a good 20 minutes at like some place out low-key, like a few miles from here, and it's looking fucking dialed right now. So yes sir, I appreciate every single one of you guys. If you have any more comments or questions, hit me down below. I'll make sure to respond, and make sure to like and subscribe. My @ on everything is 1frozen M340. See you guys later. Peace.